welcome to week 2 of MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. Bill, how are you this fine Sunday morning?
Tim, I'm doing fantastic. MVC football, man, it's like playoffs every single week. We're in week 2, and it was just a fantastic weekend. Ton of movement, ton of great games.
I mean, seriously, we had some like early season classics yesterday between Methuen, Tewksbury, and just a classic matchup with Central Catholic and St. John's Prep. Big wins for Chelmsford yesterday. Big
Andover
wins
over Barica.
Yeah, absolutely. Big wins Friday night for Andover, North Andover. Great win for Dracut this week. Just a exciting week of MVC football.
And all the MVC teams, they're all within, Lawrence ends up coming back and only losing by 2. Lowell struggled a little bit against North Andover, coming off of winning the Super Bowl last year. But even then, I was at the game. It was just a great football game, hard-nosed football game. North Andover was able to capitalize, and Lowell wasn't. But you're absolutely right. Just a phenomenal week 2 for the MVC.
You were there Friday night. I was in Billerica watching Andover and Billerica. Big win for the Golden Warriors. And then, obviously, yesterday, you're at Methuen, Tewksbury. Bill, we put you in
I don't care today. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to speak the facts. And regardless of how it sounds, at this point, I don't care.
We put you in a tough spot every week, but I mean, it's only because your kid just keeps delivering. Your son Connor, and the Rangers, just a huge win yesterday. After we saw it the last 2 years, heartbreaking losses, 31-30, 22-19. Both of those games were there for the taking. And I texted you during the game that this game, this 26-14 win for the Rangers yesterday, it was had the feeling it was like literally it was playing out the exact same way.
It was 20-14. Tewksbury got stymied. The defense kept stepping up all game. People don't realize 14 points, but they scored a touchdown, an extra point off a kickoff return. So the Methuen defense really held a strong Tewksbury offense, and Tewksbury punted. The sun is bright. The player from Methuen just kind of had a bunch of kids around him. He muffed the punt. They got it. I'm looking at the scoreboard going, in any second it's going to be 21-20. And all the predictions and all of the sports reporters that had Methuen losing by 1 or 2 points, they were going to be right, and it was killing me. And Methuen held again. They had a couple of goal line stances, and it was a hot day. It really was.
Let's talk a little bit about that. 85, but the reporters were tweeting out. At Central Prep, they were saying it felt a hell of a lot hotter down there on the field.
Yeah, the temperature number had nothing to do with on the field. It was just hot. It was muggy, and hey, I don't care. I know I joke all the time and serious with Central being very, very having a lot of depth. You play the same, 20, 25 guys. There's a lot of these kids that are going both ways in the offensive, defensive line in the trenches, and there was a lot of kids, man, that were hurting. Kids coming off the field, you're thinking, oh, they just hurt their knee. Nope, you could see their calf popping right out of the calf muscle, popping right out of the leg with muscle cramps. But you know what? Tom Ryan said it the best. It's and if I misquote him, it is what it is. It was the first time in his tenure at Methuen that they started and finished the game at the 120% hustle, focus, attitude, and they were able to cap it off. And that's the difference between starting in 2011 when they just couldn't, didn't even belong in the same field for multiple years. And then they lost by 1, lost by 2. And the difference was they played from get-go to the end, and it was a huge win.
We'll obviously talk more about that game. Just to give you a little lineup here, we've got interviews, video interviews from the Methuen Tewksbury game, from Andover, Billerica, from North Andover, Lowell. So we're all over the place this weekend. We also got phone interviews with Andover captain and 3 Sports star over there, Michael Slayton. We'll have the coach from the victorious Chelmsford Lions, the new head coach over there, George Peterson. We'll have an interview with him, and we'll also have the Dracut new head coach there as well, and a big win again this week over Lawrence. We'll have Jordan Murphy with us, so another big week here on the show, Bill.
Absolutely. Tim, let's address the elephant in the room. Last week we struggled a little bit with our technology and some of the phone and things like that, and we got all that squared away because John McElroy from North Andover, his son graduated last year, was the 3 Sports stud who is in our prep school this year, said, what the hell's going on, guys? You have the best show around, and last week it was rough. You guys got to get your stuff in order this week and make sure we're good to go. So I assured him our technology is up. The graphics look fantastic. We're back online with Twitter, with the MVP polls and things like that. It's going to be a great season for the show. But I wanted to give John a shout out. He doesn't mess around with telling you like it is.
Oh, without a doubt. We had some issues. Have to admit that we had some issues, but just like a team that takes a drubbing, we looked at the film, we figured out where we needed to improve, and we're ready to go this week.
So we scaled back. We let Hector take a week off to kind of make sure we get our stuff in a row, and then we'll bring him back when he's not covering. Is it a Pop On team? What's he doing in Foxborough?
Hector big leagued us today. He's covering the Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots. I thought it was a Pop On team in Foxborough he was doing.
Nope. He actually got the NFL team today. He's in the big leagues.
Nice.
So
nice.
We'll get Hector back with us next week. Listen, like we said, a huge show. A lot of interviews, a lot of analysis ahead. We'll take a quick break here. Come back with you right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. All right, I want to tell you about Davila and DeFusco Insurance, our presenting sponsor here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila have made that a reality since February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now right-in-place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home insurance? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them in person at 225 Broadway in Methuen or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, and visit them anytime at daviladefusco.com. Hey, I want to tell you about Jen Hamilton, the realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and she's a big supporter of all things local, especially youth sports. She's a big backer for Central Catholic and Methuen athletics, but she's a household name around the Merrimack Valley. Hey, the autumn market is in full swing. If you are thinking of selling, now is the time. Inventory is an all-time low, making this a seller's market. In a seller's market, there's a greater chance for a bidding war on your home. So put Jen Hamilton's 33-plus years of experience to work for you today by calling for a free, no-obligation market analysis of your home. Call Jen at 508-954-7941. A huge supporter of youth athletics. Listen, her record speaks for itself. She's one of the top sellers in the region for Keller Williams Realty. Hamilton is a household word. Call her at 508-954-7941. And we are back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Bill Bryant, Tim Wood here with you. Another big week of MVC football. Let's give you a little chance to gush here, Bill. Methuen, Tewksbury. Methuen with the 26-14 win. Just a huge win for the Rangers program.
Tim, thank you. You know, as a youth coach for many years, you know, when you're coaching your own kid, you have to really be disciplined to not talk about your own kid. And now that I'm in the back nine of my son's high school career, you know, the gloves are off a little bit. You know, yesterday's game was a phenomenal football game. Nobody expected anything less than Tewksbury on that wonderfully groomed grass field they have. And obviously, you know, people asked me before the season, how's Methuen going to be? And they have a whole different line. Their starting five last year from that team that went on a great run that ended up losing to Acton Boxborough is replaced. You have Leslie Theodore, who couldn't get into the starting lineup last year, Jordan Duran, Sammy Kalivas, sophomore center, coming in out of the blue, Chris Sharenza, and Junior Gillen. These guys saw minimal time last year, so to have a brand new starting five lineman, you know, in a division like the MVC is huge. You know, and for them, pass blocking and run blocking, those kids are blocking, you know, downfield, behind the play. They just did not stop, which obviously allowed, you know, Connor Bryant 24 rushes, almost 290 yards on the ground. Quite an afternoon. 10 for 10. He's let me know that there was a drop pass somewhere in there. Kid's honest. You know, 145 yards passing, so 2 touchdowns in the air and 2 on the ground. You know, definitely one of those moments, parent or not, you're walking away from that field saying, that kid left it all on the field. He looked like Sunday morning tired about 5 minutes after that game as far as just physicality-wise, he was hurting.
I mean, it's just such a huge win for the program. I mean, you know, the last 2 years, this game has really tested their mettle in terms of a tough loss so early in the season, and now they get this win. They get over the hump. First win since 2010 against the Redmen. Just a big day for Methuen, for the city.
And you know what, Tim? It starts last year. After losing like they did last year, 31-30. They could have easily let that season define them, and I think they matured. So you always talk about a good loss. To me, last year's loss, even though it hurt, was a good loss because they toughened up and they went on a nice run and kept winning. You know, when they got knocked out of the playoffs, they ended up going to Reading, had a great game. They played Lexington again, had a good win. So I'm hoping that on top of the maturity from last year and the feeling like they can win one of those games that they shouldn't, because everyone predicted them to lose by 1 or 2 again, which, hey, I would have predicted the same thing. You know, that's what they have been doing. This, I'm hoping, is going to give them the confidence that they can win a game that they probably, you know, are predicted not to or shouldn't. And
we were there after the post game. A great job again from athletic director Matt Curran. First one he got from you. For us, your son, just monster game. The headline and tribute, Brilliant Bryant, which got to make you proud in terms of having some scrapbook material. But Connor Bryant, the quarterback from Methuen, on the win.
Connor, talk to us about that win.
That was a crazy game. I've been eyeing this game, had it on my calendar my freshman year when we lost, and this game has always been in my heart for Coach Ryan, Coach Setar, because they're Tewksbury natives, and this is one game that I've always wanted to personally come here and win.
Awesome. We talked about it last week. Talk about the chemistry this team has. You, Kareem, the boys, everything that we saw today.
Our chemistry is just going to keep on growing. our chemistry is going to keep on growing. We're together every day, grinding, working out, doing all the stuff we need to do, and that's why our chemistry is getting up to the 100% that we're at, and we haven't even got there yet. So
Nice. Talk about the center.
Sam Clevis, I've known him my whole life, and he's just grinded. I've told him beginning of the summer that he might have a shot to play, and he was kind of shaky on it. But right when camp started, he was getting reps in, and he's worked hard to get that spot, and I'm proud of him.
Awesome. What does this mean for Coach Ryan?
This is a huge game, but before the game, he said that this game isn't about him. It's about the guys that are going to be on the field, and it's going to be the guys in the white beating the guys in red at the end of the game.
Awesome. Congrats.
And then we also got another big star on offense and defense for the Rangers yesterday, Kareem Coleman. You might know him, Kareem, from Twitter with the trademark symbol on his Twitter handle. Here's Kareem.
Kareem, talk about that game.
We just worked hard, man. These guys owned us for the last 10 years, and this time, no more. Just no more.
Awesome. Talk about the game you had. Unbelievable game.
We just practiced game planning all week. I couldn't do it without Connor, none of the O-line, none of the defense, man. It's a good team win.
Would you have 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, and an interception.
Awesome. Unbelievable game. What's next? Who do you got next week?
Lowell, I think. We're on to Lowell.
Nice. So what do you know about Lowell?
They have Brendan Ty. They like to sling it. You just got to be ready.
Nice. And talk about the win for Coach Ryan.
Huge. This guy's he's just got here, couldn't even beat them. Now, first win.
Awesome. Congrats.
That's Kareem, and then the coach, humble, doesn't want to talk about this much, but I mean, big rivalry game for him. Lives in Tewksbury, coach for Tewksbury. Here's the head coach, Tom Ryan.
Coach Ryan, talk about that win right now.
We haven't beaten them since 2010, so it feels real good. There's 9 years of futility and almost, last 2 years, almost touchdowns and field goals and just a lot of excuses, and we didn't do that today. We finished, we had a goal line stand, and we had an 80-yard drive to seal the game. That's the difference between us now than us 7 years ago.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Talk about Connor Bryant tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he goes where our offensive line goes. I mean, Leslie Theodore, Jordan Duran, Sam Clevis, all those 5 guys up front were paving the way for him. It's amazing what they were able to do under 85 degrees. They wanted to come out, and they just didn't. They just refused to give up, so
nice.
It was amazing.
And for you, Tom, I know you're not that guy, but living in Tewksbury, being on their staff before, talk about the emotions today after this big win for the program.
I thought it was going to feel a little better, to be honest, because I love those guys, and Brian. I think so highly of Brian Airwood. I think he's the best coach in Massachusetts by far. It's not even close. I couldn't even remotely put myself in the same sentence as him. He's legendary in Tewksbury. He's legendary across the state of Massachusetts. We were just lucky to make some more plays than them today. But I imagine that he's going to have them ready to play BC High next week. So.
Right. And you guys vacation together?
Yeah, we do some things up at Wells Beach, and that's always fun. And I play, his son Shane is one of the best athletes in the Merrimack Valley, and we play spike ball and all the different things, and it's fun.
Be nice to be up there this year, I bet.
Yeah,
awesome.
It will be.
All right, congrats,
Thanks,
Tom.
Man.
Awesome.
All right.
Good vacation for them this week for this next year. He's got the bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely. Hey,
so, go ahead.
Just want to jump back on Kareem a little bit, Tim. When you talk about a couple of touchdowns and then Kareem throws in, ahead of interception, Kareem does not lack confidence, that's for sure. But one of his touchdowns was a little screen pass, and he ended up running like 50 yards and made a couple of really nice cuts, some missed tackles, and got himself in the end zone. And then the interception, is just a phenomenal defensive play where he literally read the quarterback the whole way and then jumped in front of the receiver, picked it off in the end zone, made a tremendously athletic move, and it was a huge defensive stop for the Rangers.
So the Rangers moved to 2-0 with the win, as we said, Lowell next week on the schedule. Another big game from yesterday, Central Catholic came up against one of the better teams in the state in St. John's Prep. ended up on the losing side of the equation, 28-14. Played them tough throughout, Bill.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. And Aiden Pereira had that, the game last week where they scored 54 points against Springfield Central. Definitely sounds like that, we heard a few kids from Central ended up going to the hospital after the game for some IV for hydration. Definitely sounds like the heat was a huge factor in the Lawrence Stadium as well. Aiden had a couple of TD passes and one to Methuen native Mark. Actually, he lives in a different town now, but Mark Ciccarelli. And Mercurio had 4 catches, 72 yards, and one for a 32-yard touchdown. So huge. Once again, Tim, like we said in the beginning, your second week matchup is Central Catholic against St. John's. Like it just that's an awesome matchup so early on.
So Central Catholic falls to 1-1. They've got North Andover next week, and then you were at North Andover with them playing Lowell, and just a big win for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, and I keep saying week 2. I know this is the weird flex schedule, so some towns are 3 games in. I know Methuen is 2, so excuse me if I keep messing up there. Yeah, no, Lowell, North Andover, what's up, Tim?
No, we got to make a stand on that in terms. I just decided we're going with week 2.
Week 2. Lowell, North Andover, great matchup. North Andover winning the Super Bowl last year. Coming back and losing a ton of players, like McElroy and Watson. However, they just kind of reloaded again. What I heard on the sideline, and from some of the fans that are definitely not, kind of speak the truth. It just seemed like North Andover played probably one of their best games, and it just seemed like Lowell happened to not bring it the way they needed to bring it, and that's what the separation of the score. Lowell has some athletes. Lowell has some big boys up front. They've got some speed. Their quarterback is brand new. They got some young kids, but I think they're going to be week in and week out in the MVC. Do not underestimate them, because they're like Lawrence. At any given week, if you show up and you're not all 100% there, you're going to lose to either one of those teams.
And I mean, they put up some points and some big plays all around. Matt Chico with a big kickoff return. Talk a little bit what you saw from the quarterback.
Will Schmoller, it's hard, Tim. It's like whoever steps in for Brady when he finally retires. McElroy is a stud. He's a 4-year, baseball, basketball, football player. So you're not going to get that same type of signal calling, leadership, passing, running ability. But I think Will did a real good job. He's a little bit of a taller kid. Runs a little bit more on the outside, where McElroy kind of ran wherever. But you're right. Then you got Brutus, and you have oh my goodness, who's the other running back there for North Andover? They have a couple of threats in the backfield, that at any point. So I think it gives Will Schmoller the ability to kind of spread
Freddie
it out.
Gavin.
And Gavin, how do I forget his name?
I was blanking myself, yeah.
Yeah, and defensively, it seemed like North Andover has a lot of kids going both ways, so they would definitely benefited playing Friday night in the cooler weather as opposed to Saturday in the heat. But their defense, the Knights' defense, they were tough. They were all over the place. It was really hard for Lowell to get a balanced attack, either in the air or on the ground. So North Andover, it looks like they're back, and they're going to have a huge matchup this Friday night against Central and Lawrence.
Huge. It was a beautiful pass there from the quarterback to Max Wolfgang, over the shoulder catch by Wolfgang there.
Yep, and Schilmer almost and also hit Brutus in the end zone for, I'm not sure what it was, like a 20-yard touchdown pass right in the back of the end zone. Ricky jumped up, made an athletic play. But yeah, the Knights aren't, they dipped a little bit, obviously losing a Marblehead first game of the year, but once again, they're going to be strong and have a strong schedule all year. And like I said, do not underestimate Lowell.
We got some great interviews from the game as well. The head coach, John Dubzinski, on the win.
Coach, thanks for coming on. Bill Bryant, MVC Gridiron. Just give us some keys to tonight's, bounce back win against Lowell.
Bill, the kids came out and it was just a new energy. I think after week one, we kind of got our mistakes out of our system in week one, and we had a great week of practice. The kids bounced back; they're very resilient, and right from the get-go, I thought we did a good job on special teams. Offensively, we moved the ball pretty well, and defensively, I thought they're very well coached. They spread the ball around to a lot of great athletes, and I thought our kids did a really good job, controlling the line of scrimmage and not giving up the big play.
Jumping out to a 14-0 lead helps.
Yeah, that helps. It gets some momentum going, but it's a long game. But our kids, they knew it was in their minds it was 0-0 the whole way, and they just kept fighting and clawing, and they knew this was almost like a must-win situation. They stepped up.
So as you know, MVC Gridiron, we're all about the players. So can you just highlight a couple of the players for tonight that just kind of helped out?
Well, the quarterback did a great job. Will Schindler, he managed the offense very well, made some big throws. We had Matt Chico, captain over there, a senior. He had a huge return on a return. He was all over the place on defense and just flying around. Did a great job. Ricky Brutus did a good job, making some key catches. And, Freddie Gavin, I think they really concentrated on stopping him, but he just kept his feet going and plowed the whole game. So proud of all those guys.
So big win, obviously. Next game coming up is Central Catholic. What's going to be kind of the theme for the week?
Well, they're only good at three things. Unfortunately, it's offense, defense, and special teams. So, we're going to have to, these guys, it seems like that, you got to play a near perfect game, in order to be competitive. And that's what we're going to need. They're very well coached. They got great talent. So they're going to be the top team probably in Massachusetts coming in. So it's going to be a good high school football atmosphere.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Bill, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great quote there from the coach. They're only good at three things.
lot of depth at Central Catholic, Tim. A lot of depth.
And then Bill also got Bill also got the
Matt Chico.
Matt Chico, the big return.
Hi, Matt. Bill Bryant, MVC Gridiron. Just talk a little bit about the bounce back win tonight against Lowell.
Yeah, we kind of we had a tough week last week, a tough loss, and this was a big win. We got Central next week, so we really need a little bit of momentum going into that week.
What were some of the keys to tonight? Getting out to a 14-0 lead, obviously definitely helps. What were some other keys to keeping Lowell kind of in the back burner?
Definitely establishing the run was big. We need that on offense. We needed to tackle a lot better, and I think we did that well. And we needed to stop the deep balls, which we did good, I think.
Yeah, a lot of knockdown passes, a pick six.
Yeah, definitely.
What's going to be kind of the theme for this week going into Central as far as getting yourselves mentally prepared?
I think just keep working. We got to improve on today, and keep on getting better.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Great win tonight.
Good stuff, Bill. So a big win for North Andover, and kind of wondering where we were at with the loss against Marblehead, but Scarlet Ants kind of right the ship and kind of get the rest of the league. Thinking, all right, don't put them out to pasture yet.
There is a lot of confidence in North Andover. I know people talk about Brutus transferring from Methuen to North Andover, and North Andover coming off the Super Bowl win. Obviously, regardless of the graduates, you have confidence, but Ricky brings a dump truck full of confidence. And then you have Freddie Gavin, who is he's a little outspoken, but he is so quiet, so respectful, just does his job and walks off the field. Just so you know, Tim, all that noise, the Lowell-Tewksbury game was the Fox game of the week. So I was competing with the Fox cameraman with 7 or 8 kids yelling into the camera and everyone to be a part of that. So for Matt Chico and Coach Dubinsky to take the time to check in with us little guys and give us a little talking to was pretty cool when you have Fox News there.
Good work
or
there.
Fox Sports.
Absolutely. Good work there, Bill. All right. That's the first 3 games of the week. We'll take a break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and DeFusco Insurance. After the break, we will talk Drake at Lawrence and bring on the head coach from the Middies, the first-year coach, Jordan Murphy. We'll do that right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and DeFusco Insurance. All right, I want to tell you about DeVille and DeFusco Insurance, our presenting sponsor here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan DeVille have made that a reality since February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home insurance? Davila and Tefusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them in person at 225 Broadway in Methuen or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, and visit them anytime at davilatefusco.com. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. Hey, I want to tell you about Jen Hamilton, the realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and she's a big supporter of all things local, especially youth sports. She's a big backer for Central Catholic and Methuen athletics, but she's a household name around the Merrimack Valley. Hey, the autumn market is in full swing. If you are thinking of selling, now is the time. Inventory is an all-time low, making this a seller's market. In a seller's market, there's a greater chance for a bidding war on your home. So put Jen Hamilton's 33-plus years of experience to work for you today by calling for a free, no-obligation market analysis of your home. Call Jen at 508-954-7941. A huge supporter of youth athletics. Listen, her record speaks for itself. She's one of the top sellers in the region for Keller Williams Realty. Hamilton is a household word. Call her at 508-954-7941. Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and Tefusco Insurance. Just a quick shout out, as always, to our graphics guy, Chris Calisi. You see the scores lower right-hand corner of the screen. Big shout out to our sponsors, AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. And new this week, back with us this year, Jen Hamilton, realtor, big supporter of Central Catholic and Methuen. You know her all over the region, but a huge thanks to Jen. So, Bill, we're talking Dracut Lawrence now. Dracut pulls out the 28-26 win over Lawrence. 2 straight weeks now. Some tough losses for the Lancers, but good start here for the Middies.
Tim, I would have loved to have been at every single Friday night game, to be honest with you. And when the scores were tweeting out, and I saw that Dracut was beating up on Lawrence, I was shocked. Not that I expected them to go into Dracut and win, but I was definitely shocked. And to talk to people and find out that it was 2 fumble recoveries, 2 blocked punts, put it in perspective that, it was the mistakes early on that killed Lawrence, and then once things settled down, Lawrence's speed and athleticism, they almost pulled it out. So it kind of put it in perspective. Lawrence is not a team that you should take lightly, as if they start to fix some of those careless errors and some of those turnovers.
It's just learning to win, right? I mean, when you're building back up the program, you just got to learn how to get over those humps.
Yeah, you have to be disciplined. You have to be ready to play, every phase of the game, offense, defense, special teams. But you have to be disciplined and not have that 3rd and 1, illegal procedure or get that 5-yard penalty that puts your team, in a position to have to punt. And that's unfortunately what seems to happen on Lawrence time and time again. But like I said, they've retooled. They have some great athletes. And if they're going to be real dangerous if they can start eliminating some of those mistakes.
J.C. Santiago, the new quarterback for Dracut, a great game, 60 yards passing, a touchdown, 32 yards rushing, also scored a 2-point conversion. Lucas Abarguin, he's one of our MVP guys on the MVP vote this week, 148 rushing yards, 2 TDs, 8 tackles on defense, and the middies, just like you said, some big defensive plays and huge stop at the end on a 2-point conversion, and building the program there and seeing some real good things out of the middies. I think we're about to get the head coach for the middies on the line. Yep, he's on the line. We'll talk to him. Let's get him on the line right now. And on the line with us, the first-year head coach Jordan Murphy, the victorious Dracut middies, big win Friday night over Lawrence. Coach Tim Wood, Bill Bryant here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. All right, so tell us a little bit about this win. You guys jumped out quick and then fought a rally.
Yeah. We came out fast. We were very fortunate for that. Obviously, didn't finish the game the way we would like to. Obviously we'd like to finish a little stronger, but definitely grinded it out there at the end and held the Lawrence push off. And a win is a win, and we'll take them any way we can get them.
All right, Coach. Coming into your first season, Dracut had a great year last year. A ton of losses as far as seniors. Talk a little bit about your skill positions and J.C. Santiago and some of the things that you're really hoping that will happen this year for the middies.
Yeah, we got some good guys at some skill positions. Lucas Ibargüen, our running back linebacker, senior captain, tremendous player, very explosive, just plays with a ton of grit and heart and desire, and really leads by example for our team. He came up big for us last night. I think he had like 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. J.C. Santiago at quarterback, incredible athlete. I think he's a threat on any play. He's a young guy. He's a junior, first year playing quarterback. He played wide receiver for those guys last year. So, he's still learning right now as he goes, and he's just a natural talent, and I think we're going to go as far as he'll take us this year. But he's a dedicated kid, works hard and accepts coaching. So we're gonna keep working with him and see what the year brings.
On the line with us, Jordan Murphy, the head coach at Dracut, first year in the program. Coach, tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and your plans for the program.
Yeah, so I graduated from Dracut High in 2009. Was a part of the 2008 Super Bowl team. Went on to play college football at Bethune-Cookman down in Daytona Beach, Florida, and was part of a really, really good program down there. We won 3 conference championships in my 4 years there, and just trying to get back to Dracut High and get the program back to what it was when I was there and when I ended up leaving. Obviously the ultimate goal was a state championship, but it would be great to get in and win an MVC title, which is something Dracut hasn't done in a long time, and I think that's what we're trying to aim to do.
Coach, in terms of in terms of the Lawrence game, your defense came up ridiculously big. A couple of fumble recoveries, 2 blocked punts, a touchdown, and then a huge stop on that 2-point conversion to close out the win. Tell us a little bit about the players and some of the stars that are stepping up for you on defense.
Yeah, I think we got a very strong defensive line. Great defensive line play. Obviously, I talked a little bit about Lucas Ibargüen. He's a force for us at linebacker. Matt Annis plays defensive end, tight end for us, and he's actually a first-year football player. He didn't even play the last 2 years, and just a tremendous athlete, very, very good kid. Accepts coaching and does anything you ask him to do. He's the one who came up with one of those big blocked punts in the beginning of the game where we scooped and scored on it. He actually had a huge blocked punt for us last week against Westford as well. I'm sorry, in week 1 versus Westford, and just big kids up front for us on the defensive line. Alex Reese does a great job. He's a defensive end for us. Aiden McCarthy, Adil Jacam, 2 juniors who are just tremendously hard workers and gritty kids that grind it out there for us on the inside, on the D-line. And, defense played well. On the back end, Sean McGuire does a great job getting us lined up. He's our safety, senior safety, and just does a great job for us defensively. We definitely had our hands full with Lawrence, though. That was a fast team, had a lot of team speed, and they fought till the end. We were up 28-6 at halftime, and one of the things we were trying to preach to the team at the half was, that these guys are not going to come out and lay down, and obviously they did not. Tip our hats to Lawrence for that game. Yeah.
Coach, you kind of led into my second question. A lot of times, we'll ask coaches, hey, what was that halftime speech that you gave? The kids really came out motivated. What's going to be the theme of the week for you? Because, in the MVC, you can't have a bad second half against Billerica, Chelmsford, Acton, Boxborough, the remaining schedule you have. And even Lawrence, they're on their way back as well. What's going to be a theme of the week to make sure you can get this young and talented squad from Dracut to make sure they start and finish the game?
Yeah, I think that's it right there exactly, is just finish. That would probably be our theme of the week, is finish everything. We started off hot, like I said, a couple block punts, which went in our favor, helped us out tremendously and gave us a quick jump start on the game. And just finishing everything, just being able to try to grind things out and fight through fatigue. We have a lot of guys that are playing both ways. We don't have high numbers on our program, but so that's probably the theme for the week, is just kind of fighting through when you're tired or when things start to go sour. Being able to bite down and keep pushing.
Coach, tell us a little bit in terms of the unsung heroes that might not make the box score. Those guys that just were crucial for you on Friday.
Yeah, Kyle Silva does a great job for us. He plays corner for us. Only plays defense. Just does a great job at following. We play him usually we tried to follow him around on number 1 there. The Laura kid that they have was a very good athlete. Did a good job on Friday night. He's a kid who doesn't really get a lot of attention, a lot of press. He shows up and works hard every day, leads by example, and definitely a huge contributor for our defense. Another kid is Aiden McCarthy. He's our starting center and starting nose guard. A small in stature kid, but plays very, very big. He obviously doesn't get a lot of attention. He's center and nose guard, and nobody really knows who those guys are. They kind of just come to work every day and get after it, and Aiden does exactly that. So definitely want to try to commend those 2 guys.
All right, Coach. I don't know if you saw yet, but Chelmsford had a big win. Chelmsford against Haverhill. That's your this week's opponent. They've struggled in the last 5, 6, 7 years, but it looks like they're kind of turning things around. Any conversation about the Lions?
Yeah, definitely big win for them over Haverhill. I was able to get out during our bye week and saw them play against Acton Boxborough. They got some really big kids, some good athletes, and Coach Peterson, I think, is going to do a great job with those guys and getting that program back to where it rightfully should be. They definitely, we're going to have our hands full with those guys. They were moving fast on offense, very, very good tempo. So that's one thing we're going to have to get ready for this week. But definitely, I think Coach Peterson is going to do a great job with those guys and get them back going.
here with head coach at Dracut, Jordan Murphy, 2-0 to start his tenure in Dracut. Coach, really appreciate you joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Sounds like you're doing some multitasking right now. Before we let you go, we've got an MVP vote every week. Lucas is in the mix. One of the four guys up for the MVP vote this week. You want to make any pitch for him?
Yeah, I mean he's really kind of the heart and soul of our Drake Community football team right now. He's just like I said before, a tremendous leader, incredible work ethic. You know, first guy there at practice, last guy to leave. You know, picking up stuff on the field as a senior. You know, bringing in water jugs, doing the little things that really a lot of guys don't do. And you know, like I said, he's another kid who's small in stature, but very, very explosive, very, very strong kid. You know, takes coaching very well, does everything we ask, and is just he's if I could have 11 Lucas Bargwins, you know, I would love it. But he's, like I said, heart and soul of our Dracut Mini football team.
Outstanding. Really appreciate it joining us here. Good luck against Chelmsford, and we'll be watching you throughout the season here, Coach. Really appreciate you joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
All right, that was Jordan Murphy, the head coach from Dracut. Hey, we'll take a quick break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. We'll come back right after the break. We'll talk Chelmsford Haverhill, and we will have the new head coach for the Lions, George Peterson, on the line when we come back right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Hey, I want to tell you about Jen Hamilton, the realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and she's a big supporter of all things local, especially youth sports. She's a big backer for Central Catholic and Methuen athletics, but she's a household name around the Merrimack Valley. Hey, the autumn market is in full swing. If you are thinking of selling, now is the time. Inventory is an all-time low, making this a seller's market. In a seller's market, there's a greater chance for a bidding war on your home. So put Jen Hamilton's 33-plus years of experience to work for you today by calling for a free, no-obligation market analysis of your home. Call Jen at 508-954-7941. A huge supporter of youth athletics. Listen, her records speak for itself. She's one of the top sellers in the region for Keller Williams Realty. Hamilton is a house-sold word. Call her at 508-954-7941. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street, in North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. All right, I want to tell you about Davila and DeFusco Insurance, our presenting sponsor here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila have made that a reality since February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now right-in-place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home insurance? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them in person at 225 Broadway in Methuen or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, and visit them anytime at daviladefusco.com. Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, and you here on a beautiful Sunday morning, talking high school football before the NFL action of the day. Bill, we're talking Chelmsford Haverhill now. The Lions get in the win column, a 21-9 win over the Hillies.
Yeah, based on paper, Tim, and seasons past and kind of where Haverhill was moving and where Chelmsford has been stagnant, this is definitely a game that could really hurt the Hillies. Coming out, losing week one to a strong, I think it was Acton Boxborough or I forget who they played, but, struggled. Chelmsford playing Acton Boxborough. It couldn't have been Acton Boxborough. Chelmsford losing to them. A game I think both towns needed to win, and Chelmsford pulling out the victory. It's going to be a huge win early on for them.
Absolutely. Brett Baker, 230 passing yards, 6-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Brotherston, and 2 TD runs for Baker. Liam Gillette, 45-yard reception, 46-yard interception return, 64 yards rushing. Just a big win, first win for the new head coach of the Lions program, George Peterson. And then Shane McGonigal for the Hillies, a 35-yard interception return, touchdown for Haverhill. So Chelmsford gets Dracut next week. Haverhill gets Westford Academy. And I think we've got on the line coming up here, we've got the new head coach for Chelmsford, George Peterson. And on the line with us now, the head coach of the Chelmsford Lions. Big win against Haverhill. George Peterson, how are you? Tim Wood, Bill Bryant here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Pleasure to have you. Now, just tell us a little bit about the win yesterday and how it came together for the team.
It was a great win for us. It was something that we needed bad as a program as far as our kids go. We started the season off on a tough note against Acton Boxborough, and we didn't play the way we thought we were capable of playing. And I think a lot of that was due to some first game jitters. We had a lot of kids in our program that have never played at the varsity level and are now expected to compete at that level. And it was a first opportunity to really see that live game. And they weren't used to it yet. They didn't understand the speed and the tempo we were looking for. And I think there was a big learning experience there, and we got better over the week, and I think we showed a lot more mental toughness, a lot more physical toughness yesterday, and I think we played, better together as 11, the entire game on both sides of the ball. I think we really, really did a great job of hustling to the football and playing with some good toughness, and that's always the key, and we'll continue to grow from here, hopefully.
Hey, Coach, you just talked about, the 11 and team, and I get it. In any sort of football win, it's the whole team. Talk a little bit about Brett Baker, 230 yards passing, touchdown pass, couple of runs. How is his leadership going to, get you guys continue to roll?
He's done a fantastic job, and, as I mentioned this, Brett had played in his first real high school football game last week against Acton Boxborough. He didn't play as a sophomore because he broke his clavicle, and then his last playing experience was a freshman. So, for him to do what he did in game 2, really over the past, his second experience on the field over a 2-year span was pretty impressive. He's doing a great job of leading our offense. He's understanding the concepts and what we're looking to do, offensively, and just doing a fantastic job for us so far.
Online with us, George Peterson, the head coach of the Chelmsford Lions here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Coach, tell us a little bit about your background. And Chelmsford's got a winning tradition there. Been down a little bit lately, but tell us a little bit about what you're bringing to the table for the town and for the school.
Well, I think, one of the biggest things that we bring is I think we have a great coaching staff. I brought in a lot of younger guys who have a ton of enthusiasm, a ton of passion for the game. Our practices are organized and crisp, and there's a lot of emotion in practice and all that stuff, and we're looking to create that from the top down and have that trickle down effect to our kids, and we're really starting to see that from them as we go through here, as we get try to learn every single day. And I think that's probably the biggest piece, is we've got passionate coaches who get our kids to buy in and understand what we're looking to create, and I think the kids have done a fantastic job of trying to work in that mold and continue to get better.
Coach, what's your background for those around the MVC that might not know of you?
I'm from a small town in Vermont, and my high school football team had 19 kids on it, 9 through 12.
Wow.
And I was fortunate enough to get a walk-on position at the University of New Hampshire. I walked on, and over a couple of years I earned a scholarship, turned into a 3-year starter there, and was a team captain and All-American as a senior. And then from there I had a couple of experiences at the professional level, and then that didn't work out, and I ended up at Wakefield High School coaching freshman football. And then I went from there to Bedford, New Hampshire, where I was the defensive coordinator. And then from Bedford, I ended up at Lexington as a head football coach for 8 years. And in the 8 years there, we were able to win 2 league titles. We had the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Massachusetts in our program. And we were able to flourish and really create something pretty special there. And it got to a point where, I have 3 young boys, and I needed to be closer to home and have an opportunity to get home and spend some time with them as well, and my wife. And the Chelmsford position opened up, and oddly enough, my wife went to Chelmsford High School, so it seemed like the perfect fit. I applied and went through the process and was lucky enough to earn that position, and it's just been a tremendous transition as we've gone through it here over the past 7-8 months. And I think we're in the process of doing the same type of thing that we did in Lexington, as far as creating something that's a special tradition for our kids and a competitive group on a weekly basis. So I mean, that's the big thing. We don't want to just be out there playing. We want to be competitive, and we want to be a team that is recognized for the kind of program that is that team that's never going to be in an easy ball game. It's going to be a dogfight from the opening kick to the final whistle. So that's what we're trying to create, and I think we're in the process of doing that.
So, Coach, I got kind of a question here that might be a little long-winded, because you sort of answered it as you went along. Growing up in Lawrence, playing Chelmsford, Chelmsford was a powerhouse for a lot of years. Jack Fletcher, the whole program there, just year in and year out, was just really dominant. So for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, where Chelmsford hasn't been, kind of in the mix, a lot of people, around the league ask what's going on with Chelmsford, and it sounds like you're answering that question. It's time to get them back on the map and kind of get some new energy. And Dave DePalma is someone that reached out to me last year. He's kind of a Chelmsford Lion through and through, graduate of Chelmsford High, and wanted me to congratulate you on your first win. But what is it as far as getting Chelmsford back on the map and being competitive? You kind of talked a little bit about the culture, because it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of numbers. How are you going to, kind of change the tune in Chelmsford to get more and more kids, coming off of football?
I mean, culture is the most important piece of it. You mentioned it. I mean, creating a culture that's, supportive, and, it starts in the locker room where the kids care about one another. And, I always tell the kids at the beginning of the season that my first job as a coach is to love them. And I'm going to show that in a variety of different ways. I'm going to be excited when they do something great, and I'm going to be on them when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And we're going to have expectations, and we're going to be accountable for all of our actions on and off the field. And we're going to be a team that is known for playing hard. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I've never seen a football game won by a team that doesn't play harder. It's all about giving that unbelievable effort for 6 seconds every single play, for every single down of the game. And that's what we're trying to create. And I think the other thing that helps us is we spread the ball around a lot. I mean, we had 6 kids catch more than one pass yesterday in our win against April. And when you're spreading the ball around like that and giving people opportunities, I think that'll bring more kids to our program and have more kids buy into what we're doing.
Head coach George Peterson of the Chelmsford Lions, big win Saturday against 21-9 win over Haverhill. Coach, tell us just a little bit in terms of the idea of the team learning to win and how you saw that kind of play out yesterday in terms of them controlling the game tempo, taking advantage of all the opportunities.
Well, I mean, it's part of it's executing a game plan, like to put a game plan in place, and to have the execution is the first part, and then to, we always talk about starting fast and finishing strong, and I think that we did a really good job of that yesterday. I mean, you look at that game, we started fast, we went right down and scored. We went up 14-0, then we went up 21-0, and then we threw a pick 6, and then they got the ball back, and they had a couple opportunities. They drove deep in our territory. They got down to the 1. It was 1st and goal from the 1, and we had a tackle for a loss, a sack, and then we stopped them on the next 2, and we're able to get the ball out of our end zone and flip the field a little bit from that end of that end of the field, and that's the kind of stuff where the kids build that resiliency and understand that they can do it. And, have confidence. I mean, the biggest thing that we can give these kids as coaches is the confidence to go out there and do it and understand that they can do it. And I think that yesterday was a huge growing experience for our kids and our coaches and everybody involved with our program.
How'd you guys come out of it injury-wise?
We're in good shape. We had Joe Ross, who's been a defensive end for us, dislocated his kneecap, but that's happened a bunch of times. He's got a really loose tendon there, so we hope to get him back, but other than that, I mean, we're in pretty good shape.
You got
Hey, Coach.
Go ahead, Bill.
Coach, one of the things for MVC Gridiron obviously is to get more recognition for the football teams and the different players, but the newspaper and tweeting and all that's great, but there's always a kid on every team that just is a dirt dog, a grinder, but hardly ever gets their name in the paper. Can you do me a favor, just give a shout-out to a kid from your team yesterday that definitely won't get a stat line or won't be in the newspaper, but, God, if that kid's not on your team, it might have been a little bit of a different day yesterday for you.
I mean, there's a couple of guys that have stood out. I mean, Mike Methuen punting the football yesterday, something as simple as that, but we had a couple of times we were in negative territory, and he had a couple punts that were 45, 50 yards, and it totally flipped the field and gave us the ability to, as a defense, have some breathing room, play the coverages and the things we wanted to play defensively and be in the fronts we wanted to be defensively, and he was fantastic. But a kid, it's hard to point out one right now because everybody's learning and everybody's playing hard. Our offensive line over the past 3 weeks have really, really grown together, and I think those 5 are probably, the unsung heroes of what we're starting to build. Is they're learning, they're understanding what we're trying to do, and they're really getting better every day.
Give us the names there, Coach. The O-line especially never gets in the stat line.
Putting the guy on the spot like that, Tim.
Yeah. Our center is Nick Bottomley. He's a junior that has done a fantastic job, getting our offensive line to where they need to go. Guards are Ed Rigney and John Mahoney, and our offensive tackles are Bobby Lee and John Proya. Those 5 individuals. I mean, you asking those kids do some pretty unselfish things, and they never get the recognition they deserve, and they line up, and we haven't had a complaint about it. We haven't had a complaint about being banged up, any of it. They're just lining up and playing and doing what we ask, and that's what's going to make us better.
You had another kid yesterday, Liam. Is it Gillette or Gillette? Gillette. I mean, he was everywhere. Catch, interception, just everywhere.
Yeah, huge day for him yesterday. one of the things we really worked on our running backs. We're a team that doesn't have a lot of shake. We just got to be, one cut and go type team. And, our first game, we had too many guys trying to pick their way through things. And we really stressed it with our running backs this week that, you get the football, you've got to go. And you finish with a violent finish and get what you can, because we don't have that kind of shake to stop and restart. So we really stressed that this week. Liam took it to heart, ran very, very well, ran physical, was fast, used his speed, and then on defense he had a huge pick for us. They had been hurting us with a backside slant, and we called it out for him right before they went out and threw it, and sure enough it was there for him, and he made a great play on it, returned it 45 yards and put us in position to get up 21-0.
All right, Coach, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. I hear some whistles in the background. You out scouting or at one of your kids' games?
I'm watching my 7-year-old AJ play some flag football here in Groton.
Nice, dual purpose, huh? Doing some advanced scouting too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Coach, great win yesterday. Really excited to see where you take the Lions. As we said, program rich in tradition, and great to see them back in the winning column. Again, really big thanks for joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can continue to grow.
Huge thank you to George Peterson, the head coach from Chelmsford. A big win this week for the Lions over Haverhill. Hey, we'll take a quick break here, come back after the break, talk Andover, Bill Ricca, and we will have on the phone line with us one of the stars for the Golden Warriors, Michael Slayton. We'll do that right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. All right, I want to tell you about Davila and DeFusco Insurance, our presenting sponsor here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila have made that a reality since February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now right-in-place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home insurance? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them in person at 225 Broadway in Methuen, or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, and visit them anytime at daviladefusco.com. Hey, I want to tell you about Jen Hamilton, the realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and she's a big supporter of all things local, especially youth sports. She's a big backer for Central Catholic and Methuen athletics, but she's a household name around the Merrimack Valley. Hey, the autumn market is in full swing. If you are thinking of selling, now is the time. Inventory is an all-time low, making this a seller's market. In a seller's market, there's a greater chance for a bidding war on your home. So put Jen Hamilton's 33-plus years of experience to work for you today by calling for a free, no-obligation market analysis of your home. Call Jen at 508-954-7941. A huge supporter of youth athletics. Listen, her record speaks for itself. She's one of the top sellers in the region for Keller Williams Realty. Hamilton is a household word. Call her at 508-954-7941. Big shout out to the folks at AFC Urgent Care, Lisa Williams and her team over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitching, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and DeFusco Insurance. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, talking MVC football. And we've got another big game, Andover, Billerica. And the Golden Warriors pull out a big win on the road in a tough road locale against the Billerica Indians. 32-14.
Yeah, and if you remember last year in Andover, it was an airborne shootout with Billerica pulling out the win. And I know Billerica's, I don't think they haven't won a game yet this year, and they're a scrappy team. Their quarterback Nolan Houlihan is probably crawling out of his skin right now, not having the season, the beginning of the season that he hoped for. They were a real young team last year, and I think what's going on in Billerica is their line is definitely struggling to protect him, which is making it real tough for a kid who is more of a drop-back passer than he is. He can run the ball, but he's definitely more of a slinging guy than he is a runner.
And I gotta tell you, Bill, if you haven't seen this kid in person, Josh Ramos putting up some video on him now, courtesy of Huddle. Just a huge game for the running back. 236 yards on the ground, a lot of them in the second half. And Bill, this kid, he's a small kid, but some of the moves he put on Friday night, you don't want to get the heads too big, but I mean, it was like very Barry Sanders-esque the way he was able to just shake out of tackles, and once he gets the burners on, it was just to the house.
Yeah, no, we remember him from last year. I think he got hurt last year or something happened.
Yes, leg injury
to him last year. He had a leg injury, and you didn't get a chance to see him play. And I know that Andover has put themselves back on the map. They're a team that is wants to make a dent in the MVC Large this year.
So a 32-14 win for Andover, and we did get some post game interview there. First up, we got head coach EJ Perry.
Here with Coach Perry, MVC Gridiron Weekly. Coach, big win here in Billerica. What'd you make of the game?
I just thought everybody stepped up. It was a road game. We had guys. Victor came out hot. When Scotty got in there, he did an excellent job. And then, Lincoln started us off by getting to the 5. It was just great overall, and the defense was outstanding. They shut them out for the half, and then, just played really well.
Who overall would you want to shout out, defense or just overall defense?
Overall defense, but as you can see, Slayton and Slayton. It looks like he's going to go early decision Bentley or Bryant. He'll probably get the offer from Bryant tomorrow, and then he loves Bentley, and he just, when he found out that he was going to be able to get in, he's excited, and he's just playing well. The hits he had and everything he did tonight, I don't know how many tackles exactly, but he was the heart and soul, and then on offense he got a touchdown.
When you see them step up in those moments, tight game at the half, tight game early, and then breaking it open, when you see them start to put that together, you feel like it's all coming together from practice into the games now?
Yeah, I mean, I think this team is excellent. I think this team has great leadership with the 4 captains. So you got Como, you got Slayton, you got Davila, and you got Florio. I don't want to leave someone out. And then obviously when we have a running attack with BB, and then you can mix in Scotty with the running attack, and he'll be able to pass it in the near future. It's just unbelievable.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say in terms of the win tonight, Coach?
No, it's just that this is the start, and I think the last 2 games really prepared us for this. And obviously, when you look in the paper, you see Franklin's number 7, and we were leading the whole game until the final 4 minutes. It just gives you reason to think we can do a lot. So we're going to take it a game at a time. We're looking forward to playing Lawrence next week, and we're just excited.
Awesome.
So that there's EJ Perry, and he mentioned Ramos. They call him BBBI. Ramos, a big game, but Victor Harrington, the quarterback, he's been the star for him through the air, and we got him after the game as well.
Victor Harrington, after a big win, just overall thoughts in terms of how the team bounced back this week.
I thought it was a great week of practice, the best week we've had. It showed right now because 32-14, we needed that. 0-2, we needed to come back, and it's tough because I made some mistakes, the whole team made some mistakes, but overall, we're up there. We got to stay up there.
When you see them executing on the big plays, and what was the biggest thing that you took away from the game?
Next play.
Yeah.
You can't keep your head down. You have to keep your head up, stay strong. Fight. That's what coach always tells us: fight, and it shows.
And then you go out for a series, and boom, right down the field. It's like next guy up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always got to be prepared. You never know when someone's going to go down. Know your spot. It's a big team win right there.
How do you feel as far as the team coming together right now?
I think that win definitely helped us. I think our heads were a little low, but we're getting up there.
That's Victor Harrington, a huge win for the Golden Warriors, Bill. And got to be thinking. They're back on the map, and a lot of weapons on this team.
No, they are. They have been a team that's obviously very well coached, and they've been in the top three for a while. They had a little bit of a dip. That's what happens when you have a freshman quarterback, and you have a little bit of a rebuild. But no, I think they're very strong, and once again, it goes back to what the MVC is. At any point, you could lose a game to a team that hasn't been in the top for a while.
And we've got another one of their weapons, so I think we've got them punched up on the phone line. Let's talk to Michael Slayton. And on the line with us right now, Michael Slayton, captain of the Andover Golden Warriors, a big win, as we talked about, 32-14 over Bill Ricca. Michael, Tim Wood here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Really appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about this win against Bill Ricca. You guys dominated both sides of the ball, little close in the early goings, but you capitalized on a lot of Indians' mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it was really great. First win of the season. We really needed it. We didn't want to be 0-3 going into Lawrence. It was a huge win. Great team win. We played very well on both sides of the ball.
In terms of coming back from the loss against Franklin last week, number 7 in the state, but you guys battled them right till the end. How did the team react to that loss?
I mean, we just felt like, we can do it. Like, we can beat these teams. We should have won that game, and we were hungry for a win.
It definitely showed it on the field. In terms of the execution, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say the team is at right now in terms of execution?
I'd say like an 8, because we can always get better. We're executing very well, but we still have room for improvement. We're gonna get better.
Absolutely. We've got some of your highlights up on the screen right now. Just real quick, tell us about Huddle and how cool that is in terms of having that at your disposal. And then we're looking at the video right now, and it's coming. It's just like SportsCenter highlights.
Yeah, it's great. Watching the game right when you get home, get off the bus, you watch the game. It's great. And it's great for college as well, because that's how colleges see your highlights, and it's a really great tool. But I love it, and we see our mistakes very easily. what we have to work on. We use it a lot.
How much tape preparation, how much film preparation goes into each week for you guys?
After every game, we have a film session, offense and defense. We have one film session after the game, probably a day or two after, watching that game. And then on Thursday nights or Friday nights, we head over to Coach Perry's house and actually have a film session there of the opposing team we're playing.
On the phone with us right now, Michael Slayton, captain of one of the captains of the Andover Golden Warriors. In terms of just the preparation that went into this season, tell us a little bit about the summer work, the weightlifting, the practices leading up to the first games this season. What did you see in terms of preparation from your teammates?
I mean, it was great. We had probably one of the best 7-on-7 seasons that we've had in a long time in Andover. We had a great summer. People getting really big in the weight room, which was fun to see. Just made me want to work even harder, seeing my teammates get better every day.
In terms of just the weapons that you guys have right now, tell us a little bit about what it's like to play alongside, to block for. I mean, in terms of Josh Ramos, he's having a huge start to the season.
Oh, Josh, he's outstanding. I mean, he's a special talent. Blocking for him, I mean, he makes us look good. He's really special. I mean, you can trust him with the ball anytime. You know he's gonna come and play.
I mean, you just had some explosive plays here against Bill Rick, and we're looking at them right now. Couple of them, one of them where you were in the backfield blocking, and it looked like he was tackled, and then all of a sudden he emerges for another 40 yards.
Yeah, I mean, his feet are always going. He never lets up. He's always fighting for more yards, and I mean that was just an unbelievable play.
Yeah, it's good. We're looking at it right. It's crazy. In terms of what do you see from building from your freshman year to now, in terms of where this team is at and how you can compete in the MVC this year?
I mean, my freshman year was E.J. Perry's last year. That was a great year, but after that we've been slowly declining. But I think this is our year to take the MVC title. I mean, we're top contenders in the MVC. Our team looks great. We're really confident.
In terms of yourself, you're a three-sport star captain for football, basketball, baseball. Compare the three in terms of the workload and the excitement that you get from each sport.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's very different just because, I mean, like the physicality between football and baseball is very different. It's a different kind of excitement, but I love them both. I mean, all three sports. It's so fun. It's great. I love playing them all, and I really couldn't choose a favorite.
Michael Slayton on the line with us from the Andover Golden Warriors here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Michael, you just seem to have this radar, whether it's on defense or just getting open on offense. Where does that instinct come from? I mean, was that coached into you, or was that just something that you had from the minute you started playing sports?
I mean, I think it's both. Just because we have great coaching, but also because I've been playing football my whole life. I mean, always been that way. But no, our coaches are great. They put us in the best situation to win, and just very thankful for our great coaches.
Tell us a little bit about the chemistry that you've developed with Victor Harrington. You guys seem very comfortable. A couple of big plays in the early season here. Tell us a little bit about your quarterback.
Yeah, Victor's great. I mean, we've been working together for like 2 years now. He's a great quarterback. He's got a hell of an arm. He's going to be a stud. And we built our chemistry even more because he got called up for varsity baseball. He's a great athlete. I mean, he's going to do some real damage.
Definitely, seeing it so far. In terms of, tell us what it's like playing for an institution like Coach Perry here at Andover.
Coach Perry's great. He's one of my role models. I mean, he's a great guy, great coach. He always finds a way to get us all fired up. I mean, he's a great motivator, great mind. He knows the game well. I love playing for Coach Perry.
Who's the if you had to shout out anyone else on the coaching staff, who else on the coaching staff has really worked with you?
Probably Coach Steele, our defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. He's actually been coaching me for 5 years now because he coached me when I was in 8th grade as well. He's great. I mean, he knows everything. He's a great guy, and I love playing for him.
Are you the type that is just week to week here and it's ingrained in you, or just with it being your senior season, are you looking ahead at the schedule a little bit and just kind of gearing up and eyeing how you guys can compete in this year's MVC mix?
No, I'm actually a week-to-week guy. I mean, we're 1-2 right now. We really got to go. We're focusing on Lawrence next. We need to get this win, get even at 500. So no, as of right now, we're just focused on Lawrence.
Absolutely. In terms of yourself and colleges, Coach Perry, told us earlier that Bentley, Bryant are both in the mix for you. Where else are you looking at in terms of schools?
Bentley, Bryant are big ones. Also, UNH is a big one as well. Maybe Merrimack, and that's about it. But I'm just excited for what the college process has in stock for me.
In terms of school, anyone you want to shout out in terms of on the academic side that's help mentor you?
I mean, Coach Fazio, my basketball coach, he's a gym teacher at school, so I see him every day. He's always motivating me to get better, keep my grades up, and to balance sports with school.
Absolutely. All right, one last thing before we let you go. We got the MVC MVP vote. Josh Ramos is one of the 4 this week. Give us your best sell job in terms of why we should be voting for Josh or BB.
Well, most people think he's undersized, first of all, but when people try to tackle him, I don't think they think that anymore. He comes with a lot of power. I'll say that. For a small guy, he comes with a lot of power. But he's strong. He's shifty. I mean, he's put up these numbers for like 3 years now. He had an injury last year, but he's a stud.
No doubt, and he, I mean, definitely in the mix this week. Huge week this week. Where did BB come from?
BB?
Yeah.
I think that was just from his family. I don't. A lot of people actually spell it wrong. They spell it B-E-B-E in the papers. It's D-I-B-I.
Ah, okay.
But no, you'll have to ask him because I don't know exactly where it came from.
Absolutely, we'll definitely get him on the show here. In terms of just looking forward, what do you see in terms of Lawrence so far?
Lawrence, I mean, they're a fast team. They got a lot of talented players. We just got to contain them. They got a good quarterback over there. He's quick. But once I dive more into the film, we'll see.
Don't want to get too much bulletin board material here. Hey, Michael, huge appreciation for you coming on, and congratulations on all the work you put in so far and the results that you're getting in. And again, huge thanks for joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great job out of Michael Slayton from the Andover Golden Warriors. Big win this week over Bill Ricca. We also made contact with BB himself, Josh Ramos. We hope to talk to him over the course of the next couple weeks here on the show. All right, we'll take a quick break here, come back, wrap things up with the honor roll, give you all of the MVP candidates for this week, and a lot more as we finish up this edition of MVP Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. All right, I want to tell you about Davila and DeFusco Insurance, our presenting sponsor here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila have made that a reality since February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home insurance? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them in person at 225 Broadway in Methuen or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, and visit them anytime at daviladefusco.com. Hey, I want to tell you about Jen Hamilton, the realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and she's a big supporter of all things local, especially youth sports. She's a big backer for Central Catholic and Methuen athletics, but she's a household name around the Merrimack Valley. Hey, the autumn market is in full swing. If you are thinking of selling, now is the time. Inventory is an all-time low, making this a seller's market. In a seller's market, there's a greater chance for a bidding war on your home. So put Jen Hamilton's 33-plus years of experience to work for you today by calling for a free, no-obligation market analysis of your home. Call Jen at 508-954-7941. A huge supporter of youth athletics. Listen, her record speaks for itself. She's one of the top sellers in the region for Keller Williams Realty. Hamilton is a household word. Call her at 508-954-7941. Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant. It's honor roll time, Bill. So week 2, big stars around the league. What do you got?
Yeah, North Andover versus Lowell. Big win by North Andover. I had the pleasure of talking with Matt Chico after the game. Huge 83-yard kickoff return for a TD as well as an interception. Then quarterback Will Schmoller, two TD passes as well as a touchdown run. Ricky Brutus, Methuen transfer over to North Andover, 30-yard kickoff return, 17-yard TD reception from Schmoller, and a 12-yard key run to keep a drive going. And to me, the story of the game, the Scarlet Knight defense limited Lowell to 2 first downs in the second half, led by Jake Walensky with a 42-yard interception return for a TD early in the game to put North Andover up 14-0. Sean Nichols with an interception, Christian Ortega with a fumble recovery, and Jack Roach with a huge game with 13 tackles. Lowell. All right.
Yep, go ahead.
Neal. A massive human being. He is a big kid. 45-yard touchdown run, 50-yard passing, and 69 yards rushing for Lowell. Kevin Urizera, 65-yard run and a 5-yard TD run. Naya Neal is the quarterback. He is not the big kid. He's a more of a slender, athletic kid. North Andover had a huge fullback that was injured last year. That is a big boy. And when that kid starts to get rolling this year, Tim, you're going to hear more about him.
Nice. All right, so for Methuen, Connor Bryant, 10 for 10 or 10 for 11. He's being honest. 145 yards passing, 2 TD passes, 187 yards rushing, 2 TD rushes. It's a huge game for him. The Rangers' offensive line led by Leslie Theodore, Jordan Duran, and Sam Kalivas.
Tim, real quick.
Yep.
Chris Sharenza and Junior Gellin are the 2 other linemen that round out the starting 5 for Methuen.
Well done by you, sir. Thanks for getting those guys in there. Kareem Coleman, 2 TD catches, 50 yards, 30 yards, an interception in the end zone to stop a late attempt by Tewksbury for the go-ahead. So big game from Coleman. Anthony Romano, a huge third down sack during a game-clinching smothering of a Redmond drive. Interception to end the drive. And, the Rangers defense, they had 3 fourth down stops in the second half. So big game for the Rangers. For Tewksbury, Shane Aylward, they talked about him during the interviews. 74-yard kickoff return against Methuen. Got them back into the game early. And then Kalu Olu, a 15-yard touchdown, capped off a 11-play, 85-yard drive to give the Redmen their only lead in the game. What about Chelmsford, Bill?
Just a quick go back to Josiah Concepcion from Methuen, a junior defensive tackle. He's the son of Thibaut Concepcion, a Lawrence High great wide receiver who also played at BC. So it's kind of funny to have a Bryant and a Concepcion back playing the football together. Different city, but still kind of real cool for the fathers to watch their sons play together.
Absolutely.
Yes. Chelmsford with Coach Peterson, first year, pulls out their first victory of the year against Haverhill. Brett Breaker, 230 yards passing, 6-yard TD pass to Dylan Brotherston, who also had 2 touchdown runs. Liam Gillette, 45-yard reception, 46-yard interception return, and 64 yards rushing. Patrick Hughes, 6 receptions, 95 yards. And Tim, the coach, talked about this. Having 6 or 7 guys having more than 1 or 2 receptions in a game just really shows a lot of balance. Sean Stackpole, defensive lineman, had 3 sacks and a quarterback pressure that led to an interception. Lions defense, 3 interceptions led by Jake Chasen, Dom DeBerry, Shane Sutherland, and Tyler Nolan. And the kicking that coach talked about earlier, Mike Lapoli, was strong for Chelmsford. Haverhill, Shane McGonigal, 35-yard interception return for a touchdown. I think that was the sole score for Haverhill.
So for Andover, in the Andover Billerica game, again, a huge win for Andover. Josh Ramos, 19 carries, 236 yards, a 55-yard and a 64-yard touchdown run. He's got 488 rushing yards through the first 3 games here. Victor Harrington, 183 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Kevin Davia, a 39-yard touchdown catch and 8 tackles on defense. And then the Golden Warrior defense, they kept the Indians from scoring 3 times inside the red zone, led by Seamus Florio with 7 tackles, Ryan Dennehy with 2 sacks and a pass deflection, Seth Jablonski and Jonathan Davia an interception apiece. And then for Bill Ricca, Nolan Houlihan, 10 for 28, 189 yards. Colby Cyrus, an 80-yard touchdown reception from Houlihan. And then DJ Seidel, 7 carries and 68 yards for the Indians.
Yeah, Tim, then we're going to slide over to the Central Catholic matchup. Aiden Pereira, definitely not the numbers that he had the week before when they scored 54 points, but he still threw 2 touchdown passes, including a 58-yard TD pass to Mark Ciccarelli. J.J. Mercuria, 4 catches, 72 yards, as well as a 32-yard TD catch for Central Catholic.
And then finally, Dracut. Lucas Barguin, 12 carries, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 50-yard run, a 21-yard run, and then 8 tackles on defense for Lucas. J.C. Santiago, 60 yards passing and a touchdown pass, 32 yards rushing and a 2-point conversion for Santiago. And then Raymond Lauren, 5 tackles, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown on defense, as the Middies defense had 2 fumble recoveries, 2 block punts, and a touchdown on defense. So a huge game for the Middies. All right, so that's our honor roll for the week, Bill. But we've also got the MVP vote coming up here, and we want to give a shout out first of all to our Week 1 winner, Aiden Pereira. Won in a tightly contested vote. He had 277 yards passing in Week 1, 86 yards rushing, and 6 touchdowns in the big win over Springfield Central. So he's our Week 1 MVP. Bill, we've got 4 players on the docket this week for the vote, and you can go vote right now on MVC Gridiron Week on Twitter. It's MVC Gridiron Week. Your choices: Connor Bryant from Methuen, Josh Ramos from Andover, Lucas Barguin from Dracut, and Brett Baker from Chelmsford. So good to get a lion in there, Bill, for the vote this week.
No, that's huge for them, and obviously Ramos, we talked about, Barguin, who you mentioned, and Bryant. I didn't know the voting was up, Tim, yet. I haven't tried to see if I can vote more than once, which, just in case you wanted to know, you can't vote more than once. It doesn't let you. But it looks like Bryant's leading the votes right now, but it's very much early on, and what a great bunch of athletes on Week 2 for the MVC Gridiron Weekly Star of the Week.
Bryant is indeed leading the vote as we stream this on Sunday morning. It's 2 days to vote. Voting will close on Monday night. So Methuen getting out the vote for Bryant early, 58%. Lucas Barguin from Dracut second at 23%. And then Baker and Ramos behind. Which is surprising, Ramos was such a huge week, but with 220 votes in so far, Bryant leading the voting. But get out the vote. You can go to MVC Gridiron Week on Twitter to vote. You'll see it pinned right at the top there, 1 vote apiece. Voting ends Monday night, so get out the vote. And then, Bill, wrapping up this week on the show, just a huge week for the MVC, no shortage of big games as we head into the schedule next week. Friday night you've got Dracut at Chelmsford, Haverhill at Westford Academy, and then Saturday 5 games on Saturday. You've got Andover at Lawrence at 12, Lowell at Methuen at 1 p.m., Billerica at Bishop Meehan at 1 p.m., BC High at Tewksbury at 1:30, and then North Andover at Central Catholic at the Lawrence Stadium at 4 p.m. So, what are your thoughts overall on Week 3 in the schedule?
No, I think it's a huge week, and for some of these teams that are struggling for a win, it's really going to be important for them to have a great week of practice. So, Tim, the North Andover Central game is not Friday?
I had that. It's Saturday. It's Saturday at 4 p.m.
Okay, I kind of screwed that up. I thought it was Friday night. No, I wish I could have caught that game if it was on Friday. It's actually been nice having this flex schedule here to catch some games. I think that, for Chelmsford, it's having a rebound game and coming back and winning. I think Tewksbury, coming off this a tough loss to Methuen, needs to get right back on track. But they got BC High, another strong contender in the state. So they got their work cut out for them.
Without a doubt, just a big week ahead. For me, in terms of just how things are shaking out, that Dracut Chelmsford game is big, and then obviously, Lowell at Methuen. Methuen wants to keep the foot on the pedal, and Lawrence, this is a big game for Lawrence to see if they can finally get over the hump hosting Andover. Andover's coming in hot, but Lawrence has been right on the cusp here, so we'll see what the Lancers can do. And obviously, in terms of how things are shaking out in the elite of the conference, that North Andover Central game is going to be big.
No, absolutely. I think for Andover, Tim, if they have some real good skilled guys, and if they go athlete for athlete, if Lawrence can hold down their discipline, this could be a real barn burner as far as just putting points on the board.
It's going to be a big week, and been a big week for us here on the show, Bill. A yeoman job from you, carrying the bucket for Hector this week in terms of the analysis. Huge thanks to you for the work this week.
No, I didn't get the name. Who's Hector? I'm confused.
Yeah, Longo, I think. Yeah.
That's right. We knew him from last year. So, you know what, Tim? I knew today was coming. I had a feeling Hector was going to kind of not be around, so I got up early. Connor and I went out to Al's Diner, had a nice breakfast, grabbed the blueberry cornbread like I've done in the past.
Did you really?
Absolutely. I showed up today to be ready to do my job, and here I am.
They're not a sponsor, quote unquote, yet, but we've got to give Al's a shout out. That blueberry cornbread is just to die for. I'm missing these pre-show meetups here at Al's. Maybe we'll have to do one of the shows from there one of these weeks.
Well, Al is donating a gift certificate to Al's Diner for the winner of the weekly. For the weekly contest. So I got a gift certificate today. So the week one winner will be getting a gift certificate to Al's Diner.
You talking about the MVP?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. That's breaking news here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Always love to bring something shocking, Tim.
All right. So listen, watch and listen to us every Sunday morning. Try to get we're gonna get it on as soon as we can. Want to make sure all the technical stuff is right, but it'll be Sunday mornings, and then throughout the week. Catch us on Twitter at MVC Gridiron Week, Facebook at MVC Gridiron Weekly, and then the YouTube channel on the Loop Weekly TV on YouTube. You can catch the show streaming throughout the week. Watch it on demand. Just another big week in the MVC, and we're proud to bring it to you every week. Want to thank Davia and DeFusco Insurance, AFC Urgent Care, Jen Hamilton, the realtor, for stepping up and sponsoring the show. Listen, you want to sponsor the show, get in touch with me. You can get me at tim@loopweekly.com. Love to have more sponsors on the show. Support local journalism, support local sports, youth sports. These kids deserve your support, and we love doing this show and bringing it to you. A huge thanks. Geez, a big list to thank this week. Jordan Murphy, George Peterson, Michael Slayton, and then all the interviews from the field. Big thanks to Matt Curran for his work in terms of the interviews in Methuen. Bill, any last thoughts before we head out?
No, Tim, I think it goes back to just, kind of whole goal of the show is to get these kids highlighted. We're bringing back talking about the unsung hero, the kid that's not going to be in the stats, not going to be in the newspaper, but, for a coach to have one of these or a couple of these kids, these linemen, the centers, like a Sam Kalivas from Methuen, who will probably never have his name in the paper potentially, but play in and play out does awesome. And then our sponsors, my hat is the Dennis Bistany Golf Tournament that I ran this year, and AFC Urgent Care stepped out. Jen Hamilton, bought a whole sponsor. These same businesses, if you're a business and you're in this immediate area, Merrimack Valley, get part of high school sports, become part of sponsoring and helping, a show like this or other venues that are really highlighting these student athletes. I think they deserve it.
Absolutely. All right, for Bill Bryant, I am Tim Wood. Hey, huge thanks to you for joining us here on the show. Stream us throughout the week. Please spread the word about the show, and we will be back with you next Sunday on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Have a good week, everybody.
Pats. Go Pats.
Go Pats, absolutely.